Okay, so I thought that I would let you know. I get a lot of questions. Let me start all over again. I get a lot of questions, and there's not a whole lot of content out there about what to expect when you have a procedure. So I recorded a video on robotic lobectomy. I'll record a video on cyberknife procedure, on cyberknife radiation to the brain. I'll record another. I did record something for chemotherapy, but it was kind of like I would record it differently today. But today's video is about what to expect after a bronchoscopy. So I recorded some earlier video footage. I think what I want you to do is just to understand that I had to be at the hospital. Right now it's 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I had to be at the hospital at 5:30 a.m. They took me into the OR about 7:30. And so here it is 1 o'clock. So if you're having a bronchoscopy procedure, I don't want you to flip out. And I want you to understand that, and look, everybody's endurance is different. I think I have a lot of endurance, a lot of OR endurance, a lot of outpatient endurance because I've been through it many times. The important thing is you definitely don't want to drive home after the procedure. In fact, the hospital intake form is like, who's with you on your behalf? And so I feel great. I still have a little bit of a sore throat. We fixed that with a slice of pizza from Carlucci's in Yardley, and that was really, really good. They also gave me graham crackers in the hospital. I could have had saltines or peanut butter. Peanut butter's a little sticky. Saltines are a little bit too salty for me. So the graham crackers work great. I stayed away from anything that was too sugary. Like I didn't want orange juice. I felt like that was too acidic. Cranberry juice too, apple juice, definitely way too much sugar. But I feel amazing. You would never in a million years know. I would think that I woke up with a little bit of a sore throat. That's how you feel after a bronchoscopy procedure. So before going in that procedure, you obviously meet your pulmonologist. All of these all this medical lingo and all of these medical terms were at one point new to me. Now I understand it. Now I get some of it, not all of it. But a pulmonologist is the surgeon that performs the bronchoscopy, and they're going down your throat with a camera. And they're taking a lay of the land there, a little environmental scan. And he's also taking a biopsy of the lymph nodes and the things that they see. So shout out to my pulmonologist, Dr. Christoph. Let's get that right, Tina. Christoph Hutchinson at Pennsylvania Hospital. I had inaccurately tweeted it out this morning when I had an IV in my arm, and when they were giving me some feel-good juice. By the way, that's a good thing. Before you're even given the full-blown anesthesia, they usually do a couple things. Is number one, they give you an injection of lidocaine. That's the worst part of the bronchoscopy procedure, if I'm really being honest. That thing burns like I was like, man, I was breathing, counting to 10. But then look, it was gone in 10 seconds. The good thing is that lidocaine injection really helps when they actually insert the larger needle where all the anesthesiologist drugs are going to go through your system. So just to kind of give you a time frame, it was interesting. So first was the lidocaine, then it was the feel good kind of medicine. And then I remember them wheeling me into the OR, and then I remember getting in there, and then it was lights out. I woke up, I would say 3 hours later, or 2.5 hours later. They put you in the OR recovery, and then I woke up, and then I was like, oh my God, it's 10 o'clock. And then they wheeled me to a part of the hospital where my mother could be. Yes, my my mother was so nervous. She was really nervous. Anyway, so I was even able just to walk out of the hospital, like as long as you're not feeling dizzy, faintish, or anything like that. And I had a great nurse. Actually, in my iPhone I took the Kamari with a K. Kamari was a great nurse. She was my post-op nurse. My beginning nurse was Frank. Frank was phenomenal. A lot of these people have been in the Pennsylvania hospital system for many years. Even, what's his name? Oh gosh, not a little loopy, but there were so many names. Like, you meet so many people. And at that time, my iPhone was kind of tucked away with my belongings, so I didn't get everybody's name. But I did get the QR code in the hospital room that says, hey, if you want to give a compliment or a thank you to your nurse, which I intend to do. And I intend to give Pennsylvania Hospital, which, by the way, is one of the oldest, if not the oldest hospital in the nation. It is in such a beautiful part of Philadelphia. I took some video too, so I imagine that at some point I'll marry this footage with that video. But again, I must get an email like every single week that says, thank you for putting this content up there. So like whenever I'm recording this content, I'm like, does anybody like really care, or is anybody really interested? Apparently, yes. It's really hard to understand what it's like after procedure. And part of me wants to reassure cancer patients that bronchoscopy is a really important part of the process. So they need to make sure that they are biopsying different parts, especially if you have lung cancer, different parts of the lungs, for them to do staging, as well as for them to understand what type of biomarker testing it is, because that maps to a certain standard of care, a certain treatment protocol, a certain drug, a certain technology, like all of that. So that's why this is so important. So yes, I was nervous before going in because it's surgery, and rightly so that you're nervous, and that's perfectly normal. But in the back of my mind going in today, I was like, okay, great. Let's understand, let's get the biomarker testing done. Let's understand what's going on in there. And a pulmonologist also too does like the surveying. If you are going to get surgery, I don't know if I'm getting surgery or not, full transparency. It's too early to tell, but that's what the bronchoscopy is there for, to help then plan what would be your next steps. And for that, it's very everything is very individualized, customized, personalized to your care. So I never want my content to be, and I don't think it is, obviously, I'm not a medical professional. I am a marketing and a finance professional. Marketing, finance, those two together, obviously. So I do share my email address because I think people they've shared with me some of their incredible stories. Cancer patients who don't want to put themselves out there, which is totally fine. There's no expectation. But people who I've been honored that they've shared their story with me. So with that, I will say thank you so much for following the journey. If you do have a bronchoscopy procedure in the next week, in the next month, in the next year, please understand that it's an important part of your treatment. It's a great diagnostic tool. And look, I wouldn't go to Usher. I wouldn't go to like a concert tonight. But a little bit of a sore throat, I think that my doctor said that they perform like 3,000 of these things. So this is a ubiquitous procedure that's done for many different types of diagnostics, including lung cancer, I think thyroid cancer, I'm not a medical professional, but Anyway, so sorry for rambling here, you guys. If you get me in front of a camera, you know that I just pop, 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 pop. I just yap. I so appreciate the texts, the calls, the well wishes, the emails. You have no idea. And especially my family, my kids, my mom, Mark, all my aunts, uncles, cousins, as well as my intentionally family. That has been just so, everybody's been so gracious. There's so much gratitude. If I can ever be of help to you, feel free to reach out. I appreciate you all so much. I hope you have a great day, and we'll talk soon, okay? One thing before we leave, sorry for going verbal. The steps after that are that the tissue that they sampled today has to go to pathology. That takes anywhere from like 5 to 10 business days. So I'll check in with you at a later time. But that's what normally happens in the sequence of getting a bronchoscopy, is that all of that tissue sample is sent to pathology. I think I said that already, but in case I didn't, you now have that information. Okay, lots of love, everybody. Mwah. Take care. I'll talk soon. Bye.